What's up, guys? How you all doing? Trust you guys are doing well. So it's your boy Michael. Today is going to be an adventure for me, and I just want to share it with you guys. So there's this place that is called Oyotunji in South Carolina, and I wanted to go there. You know, I've been thinking about it for a while. So today I decided that it's the day for me to go. And shout out to Wodemaya. This video is actually inspired by what that guy is doing. You can check him out. He's really telling the African story, and that's one of the reasons why I'm also going to this place today, because I find it amazing that here in the United States that some people are still, you know, carrying the African culture, and you guys should come along with me. It's going to be a long drive for me, but you know, I bet you're going to enjoy this video with me. Welcome back, guys. So I just got here now. It was a long hour drive for me, but I believe it's going to worth it. I just parked my car now, and I'm finally in the African village, the Oyotunji. I'm just going to go to the signboard now for you guys to see. It was really a long drive for me, but finally I'm able to make it here, which I'm really happy about. So I'll show you guys the signboard. You can see it here, the African, you know, village. This is really inspiring for me because as an African, when I saw this online, I felt like you can see the, you know, the chicken. This is just like an African environment. So it's really amazing for me. When I saw this online, I was like, man, I need to visit this place, and this is how it look like. This is really amazing. I'm about to go in now to a tour who is going to take me around and see how the place look like. I want to see how truly African it is. I know like 3 weeks ago or so, there was a festival that was done here, but today I am here live to show you guys what it look like. I'd like to show you the name. You guys can see.
Now, as we walk outside, you all, I must stress,
so
we're ready to walk back on the sacred land.
I'm waiting for my tour guide now that is going to take me around the place. Sorry, what's your name again?
Ifafunke.
Ifafunke.
Yes, hi. Welcome to Oyotunji African Village. I'll be your tour guide today. I want to bring us over to our historical landmark, but before we walk back into the kingdom, I must tell you that Oyotunji African Village is 15 acres of land. We're located on a peninsula. We are surrounded by the 13 major plantations, and then what that means for us as Yoruba people is the spirit never dies. It never goes anywhere. So all of the struggle that our ancestors went through is right here with us, as well as the coming up from those struggles that are right here with us. We give thanks and honor to Oba Sejimi I, the founder of our land. He helped reestablish African culture here for us in the Americas. Right here, we're at our historical landmark, placed here in 1971. And I'm going to go ahead and read it for us. It says, Kiesi. Notice, you are leaving the U.S. You are entering the Yoruba kingdom. In the name of His Highness, Efuntalan, peace. Welcome to the sacred Yoruba village in North America, built by the priests of the voodoo cults as a tribute to our ancestors. These priests preserve the customs, laws, and religion of the African race. Welcome to our land. And then I would say to you, Ekushe, and that's a thank you. And who am I thanking? I'm thanking your ancient clans, your ancient ancestors, your mothers, and your fathers. Why? Because Oba Sejimi I helped us know that we were people that were brought to slavery, not a people that started at slavery. And our ancient clans and our ancient ancestors were nobles. They were the great ones. So we give honor and thanks to Oyotunji African Village for being the first African village here in the Americas. Right this way.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Now, we always stop and we touch the ground and we say Adupwe. And Adupwe is a soulful thank you. And who are you thanking? You're thanking your mothers, and your fathers. Because again, Oba Sejimi I helped reaffirm that we were people that were brought to slavery. So we give thanks to their successes. We believe that all the hundreds of thousands of energies that rock with you were brought down that road because of your ancestors, because of your DNA. But we most importantly touch the ground because Oba Sejimi I helped us reestablish that connection. So we touch the ground and we say Adupwe, Adupwe, Adupwe.
Adupwe, Adupwe, Adupwe.
Right this way. As we go back into the kingdom, it's like walking into our living room, you all. We are a very communal community. Now, it is very quiet today, but why do we work like that? Because in turn, my business becomes you all's business, and you all's business becomes my business. Why do we work like this? Because we're at a cultural restitution center, which means we're always a work in progress. Everyone that comes to the school for priests and priestesses is a light being, and it's our job to make sure that we know exactly what they have going on, what they want going on, and how they can ultimately help the kingdom, help the nation. Right this way, everyone. I want to bring us over to some imagery of Oba Sejemi I. This is the founder of our land, and I'm going to take a couple of seconds to just go into his spiritual comings up, okay? Oba Afontalan Adofumi, born Walter Eugene King on October 5th in 1928. He transcended February 11th of 2005. Oba was one of the first African-American men initiated to Yoruba anything here in the Americas. Oba Sejemi I was born in Detroit, Michigan. He was baptized in Christianity at the age of 12. By the age of 19, he left that understanding completely. This is when Oba's spirituality really started to peak. In 1954, Oba Sejemi I traveled to Haiti. In Haiti, he studied voodoo and was introduced to ancestor reference. Now, this was very keen for Oba Sejemi I because as a young child, ages 5, 6, 7, and 8, he was ill by a dream of a drum that he never saw and that he never heard. That drum was actually the bata drum. In Haiti, Oba Sejemi I was introduced to what we would call a gungun. If everyone would look right behind him, this is a picture of a gungun. And a gungun are our elevated ancestors, our elevated clans. We give thanks to Oba Sejemi I for helping us know that was our root chakra, or Inchi outside of himself. This propelled Oba Sejemi I to go over into Cuba. Now, over in Cuba, things got really good. Oba Sejemi I was crowned priest of Abatala. The Cubans asked Oba Sejemi I not to bring the understanding back to North America. Why? Because it wouldn't be looked at as sacred. It wouldn't be used for healing properties and to heal the nation. It would be used for mundane things. But Oba Sejemi I, being a black man born in the Americas, knew that slavery in turn made us a people of following, okay? Oba Sejemi I is a large reason why we have our African clothing, our African language, know anything about the 7 African powers or ancestor reference. Oba taught like it was his dying word. And because he taught so well, he acquired a lot of wives and in turn a lot of children. And he taught each one of them children exactly the same, which leads us to our king now. Let me take us over to a picture of Kabiesi. Now, Kabiesi, formerly known as His Royal Majesty Oba Ade Chiwegbe Adofumi II, is very dear to us. Why? First things first, he teaches the community to grow it is to sustain life. But we love Kabiesi because he isn't someone that was told you have a great destiny. He's somebody that walked that destiny every single day. He watched his father's destiny fulfilled and holds that legacy. Oyotunji African Village, in which we stand, has been here for 52 years. And out of those 52 years, Kabiesi has held the forefront for 18. Kabiesi encourages the community to be your own boss, but not the type of entrepreneurs that have to go out and buy product to resell, but ones that actually create. But we most importantly love Kabiesi because Oyotunji African Village is here for us to see. What is Oyotunji African Village? It's a school for priests and priestesses to come and see generation after generation of indigenous or African American people being taught Ifa, being taught ancestor reference. Also, a place where you can come and get the literature, you can come and get the teachers. A wise shaman once said, when the teachers are when the student is ready, the teachers will come. And the teachers are right here. So we love Kabiesi, most importantly, for keeping the doors open and making sure that we can truly connect. Ashe? Over here to our right, you all, we have our wonderful town garden. We are a very eco-friendly community. We do a lot of agricultural bids, lots of recycling, lots of composting. I'm super dear to the garden this year. Our far road, we got watermelons, y'all. And we got a high sulfur level. So we got a water. But I'm super proud of them watermelons. As we push this way, we are headed into our Afin area. And Afin is just a palace courtyard. As we come this way, it is lots of beautiful artwork and decor beneath, but most importantly, you must remember when this place was first established, none of this existed. All the area was lots of tall trees, alligators, big mosquitoes, and men with lots of ambitions. As you guys can see, my favorite ladies, these are African or indigenous women with the pillars on their head with their tribal marks. What this would represent as far as their tribal marks is they're submitting to the divine will, submitting to the unseen. A part of our Yoruba pledge is Ni Ashe Kanki Fagbara She. And what I just said was, I'm compelled by a spiritual force that I cannot resist. The tribal marks on their cheeks would represent that submitting to that divine will. But most importantly, what these women represent in the African cosmos would be the feminine energy that surrounds the crown. That takes endurance. That takes a wanting. That takes togetherness. Because the ultimate job of an African woman within the kingdom is to preserve everything that's being taught on baseline so that we can make a way for the children that are coming behind us, okay? I want to bring us over to our royal ancestors. These are the Arofumis and the Aladuhans. Now, as Yoruba people, you all, we believe as above, so below. We bring our royal ancestors food, we bring them water, we bring them laughter, we bring them energy. We tell them about the good things and the bad things. We as Yoruba people know and believe that as much energy you give your ancestors as well as the royal ancestors is as much energy as they give us in the unseen. They're like our cancel up in heaven. But the Arofumis and the Aladuhans are dear to us because they installed in our first king, Oba Sejimi I, who was super light-skinned, you all. He was super fair-skinned. He could have been Cuban, Italian, French, Caucasian. They installed in him that he was an African. And as long as he followed that destiny, he would create a legacy that lasts forever. And we give it up to Oba because he did exactly that. We're standing in Oyotunji African Village, a place where you can come and see on any spiritual level that you're on and connect. A place where you can, again, get the literature. Reading is power. And, of course, see generation after generation of indigenous people getting it done underneath the practices of Ifa. So we give thanks to our royal clans, Oba Sejimi I, and of course Kabiesi, because this place still exists to this day. Ashe?
Ashe.
Right this way. Yeah. Which brings us to our next courtyard. This is the courtyard of Abatala. Now, Abatala is the father of Oyotunji, but Abatala is the god of the white cloth, the one that sits high in the mountaintops to have the eagle's view, to make the most balanced decision. We love Abatala because of his sternness. Abatala is the energy of just because you say you're right don't mean you're right. Obatala represents Iwa Pele, good and gentle character. We love Obatala because we think of him as a snail. He reminds us as a community that spirituality is not a day job or a weekend adventure. It's a life choice. It's something that you do every single day until you don't. So we love Obatala.